Cheers.
They're unmuting. Cheers!
You guys are so great. Okay, real quick. So just so everybody knows, I have to disclose this is being recorded. So if you don't want to be seen or heard, that's fine. Just mute your screen or turn your screen off and mute your mic. This is interactive, so she may ask questions or allow you to participate when that happens. I'm going to mute everybody when we get started, just so that it's not echoey from everybody being unmuted. However, when it's time to participate, you just use the screen at the bottom. You can turn your screen on or off for any reason. And then as well, on that same bar is where you mute or unmute your mic. Cool.
Get out of my face.
Mona, I'm going to mute again just because everyone's unmuted. You just have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, good. You guys can all hear me? Nod, yes? Yes. Okay, good. All right, so my name is Mona Abramushan. I am a comedian. I've been performing all over the world, and I've done amazing shows, and I realized that more people need to learn stand-up comedy, because when people are laughing, they're listening to you, and comedy just makes the world so much better. All right, so a couple things. First off, do you guys mind if at all a swear comes out of my mouth? Is there a young person in there?
If anyone
Okay.
feels differently, send me a text.
Okay. Just give me a heads up in case a swear comes out, because I'm a Chicago kid and we have a tendency to curse every other word. All right? I think the Llama family, mom with the glasses, she's like, I think she was swearing at me, or she was practicing her swear. She's like, okay. All right. So my commitment is to teach folks how to feel comfortable in their comedy bone. All right. So what this is going to look like is I'm not just going to laugh and tell you guys jokes. I'm essentially going to teach you guys how to be comedians, because how many here, I don't know if you guys can round for, like somehow acknowledge, how many here are actually Chicagoans? You guys, are they all Chicagoans?
Almost every local.
Okay, cool. So Chicagoans, you are all blessed with the gene of comedy. I'm not sure if you know that, but 90% of comedy around the planet has 1 degree of separation from a Chicagoan, or they were trained here in Chicago. So a lot of the stand-up comedy that I do anywhere in the Middle East or in South Africa or the United Kingdom, it all has Chicago comedy roots, because in New York, they're assholes, but they tend to take themselves really seriously. So their subject matter tends to be heavy, but not as like zany. In Cali, they have also a heavy comedy scene. They tend to be zany, but they don't got like, it comes off very fake. Chicago in the Midwest, we kind of a hybrid. So a lot of people globally have been mimicking the Chicago style. So is my, it's almost, it feels like it's a badge of honor to be able to teach you guys some cool stand-up, okay? Thumbs up, good, we're all on board. All right, so first and foremost, I need to get a sense of everyone's participation, because I really do, the more you guys participate, and clearly, the more you guys are drinking, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Me, I could just stand there and I can tell you guys about my life, but as we play with the comedy principles, rules of 3, you know, how to find the funny, stuff like that, I want you guys to just to be obnoxious, interrupt, say whatever's on your mind, because that's gonna be the funny part, is when people just start speaking off the top of their head, especially the more drunk they are. So yeah, you're all by yourself, good, we can talk shit about them. Oh, okay. Okay, she's dead. All right. So for all the people that are here, we've got, I don't know, looks like, wow, nice bunch, about 12 people here. I need to get a sense of who, within the fact that there's couples now, what are some of your favorite comics? So I have a sense of your comedy styles. So if you could just unmute yourself and just say it, so I have a sense.
I like Tom Segura.
I was just going to say that.
Love his special. And Bert Heshinger. I don't know his last name. He's the one that goes shirtless on stage.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you like, tell me
Mona,
why.
do not go shirtless, please.
No, we don't have to. No.
Walt Garland, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yes. Who else? Anybody else want to throw out some names?
She said Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, yes. Okay. What else? Anybody else?
My dad said Jim Gaffigan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chicago guy. Chicago guy. Anybody else?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yep.
The other one.
John Mulaney.
John Mulaney, another Chicago guy. You see the trends?
Nancy Riley.
Who?
Oh, shit.
Okay, so we have a sense. We have a sense. Some of these guys are. Notice how no one mentioned any females. Yeah, yeah. We didn't really mention any females. That's cool. That's cool.
Melissa McCarthy. Melissa
Vicky
McCarthy.
Glacier.
Melissa McCarthy, also Chicagoan. I love it. Okay.
She's good. Oh,
Yeah.
Rebel Wilson. She's like my hero.
Yeah, she is. She's a spirit animal for a lot of us.
Girl on Netflix named Liza.
Minnelli.
No,
Schlesinger.
is
No, I know who you're talking about.
Schlesinger.
oh yeah, she's funny. I like her a lot.
Vicky Glacier is good too.
Yes. Now we got some women in here. All right, so Ali Wong. One of the consistent themes that a lot of these comedians hold, pretty across the board, is they have a combo of they're frustrated about some shit and they use comedy to vent it and get rid of it. Does that make sense? So a lot of us, when we get frustrated, we often either we can bitch, we can do all these other things, but usually finding the funny is what comedians are known for doing. And how do you find the funny? What are some ways that you find the funny? Finding the funny, how do you make fun of shit is when it's clearly there, all right? So it's clearly there. Like the fact that I asked if anybody minds swearing, right now I want to call her Aunt Alice. I don't know your name, your first name, but if you look like a solid, like, I don't know, maybe a Carol, a Patricia, or an Alice, I don't know. But when she started swearing, yeah, I don't know your first name, yes. What's your first name? I
Kathy.
can't hear anybody.
Her first name is Kathy.
I look like
Oh,
Aunt
Kathy. I
Karen.
almost said Kathy. All right, hey, Kathy. The vernacular that you probably have when you swear, it's glorious to me. But I'll bet you swear even at the most mundane things, probably to make yourself laugh.
Would you like to make myself laugh?
Kathy. Okay. All right. So what's an example about how to find the funny and really like when you can make yourself laugh. So if there's a frustrating situation, I was in Mariano's the other day, not the other day, frankly, it was like 2 weeks ago, and I was at Mariano's and there was a special needs guy bagging the groceries, which was awesome, right? But he was taking forever and he had a lot of groceries and there was a lot of people there, right? And I wanted to help. I'm like, can I help? He's like, no, I'm the bagger. And I mean, he didn't have much of an opinion on anything else, but he had a strong opinion. He was putting bananas at the bottom of bottles of water in a bag. That's like the methodology that this cat was putting on. I was like, come on, let me help. You know that when that feeling of, oh, I want to help this guy, right? He's like, no, and he was snapping off. And so then, that Chicagoan turns down like, oh yeah, like I wanted to go head to head. I wanted to fisticuffs this poor special needs kid. And then I'm like, wait a minute. All right. If I was writing for like a sitcom, if I was writing for like Friends, the one where Joey fights the bagger, this would be a funny interaction. So every time I have the ability to, when I get triggered and I get really pissed, what's the funny in this situation? Because there are times where I pretend like I'm a comedy writer for a TV show. Does that make sense? How to take a situation that's super mundane and super triggering and make it funny. Cool? Another example, this is a perfect example. I was driving down the street and I saw a cop had pulled over another car. And I was like, oh shit, because you know how it is. We're nosy Chicago drivers. I just slowed down. I was like, oh shit, right? I'm just watching this interaction because I was like, I wanted to point, make fun of the person, right? But then I noticed that the squad car said Metro cop. I'm like, what? So I'm like, what is he going to give a one-way ticket to Deerfield? How is Metro pulling over somebody on Irving Park? What are you doing? Because like the hierarchy of cops, you can't get pulled over by somebody who's running the rail lines. It's like getting pulled over by like the Ford City Mall cops. How are you getting pulled over? So I'm talking all this shit. I'm like, oh, you're a loser. And I keep going. But you got to keep an eye on karma because 3 minutes later, I get pulled over by that same copper. All right. And it didn't sound normal because he was so excited. He put the sirens on and it sounded like a retired drag queen. It's like, whoa, pull over, girl, pull over. I'm like, But the way that all went down, and he gets out and he moseys on over to me like he's the sheriff of Irving Park Road. I'm like, what's this fucking guy doing? And he's like, excuse me, ma'am, do you know why I pulled you over, ma'am? I'm like, I don't know. I'm being punked if that shit's even on still. It's like, nah, man, you were texting and driving, man. I said, no, I wasn't. He's like, all right, well, you take care. And he moseyed on like he's the sheriff of someone. And it just aggravated me to no end. Because he liked his lane job too much. He's pulling over random people. And I kind of was texting and driving. But I don't want to talk about that right now. In general, the key to being absolutely hilarious is to slow down and pay attention to all the dumb shit that's literally right under your nose. Okay? So that's the most important part, paying attention. Comedians, we often get to the location, we get to our show really early, we watch all the weird looking couples that are probably on a Tinder date show up, we're watching the waitress, how I think she might be drinking more than the patrons are. We get there really early to pay attention, when all the girls that come out for like a bachelorette party, they're all there early. So really paying attention to all the things that going on around, like you're like a low-key investigative reporter, that gives you so much funny material. All right, cool. Everybody say yes? Okay. By chance, did anyone bring a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen? Do you think you guys could get some? It's like, we brought beer, we brought liquor. Oh, you got your phones. If you got your phone, that's fine. Okay. Aunt Kathy, she's like, I got an iPhone 10. I don't think paper doesn't fit in that. Okay, good. All right. So for those of you that have your phone, right, and Kathy, I want to write this down. For everybody else that's going to use their phone, maybe you think I should wait for other people to get paper and pen? You're probably fine. All right. So for comedy, there are 5 words that really help create content, funny content. Okay, Kat, you gonna write this down? All right, good. She's writing it down. Okay, good. I don't know who you're talking to. You talking to me? She's probably me. All right. So I need you guys to write down the word weird, stupid, scary, exciting, and hard. All right. Somebody volunteer and read those 5 back to me, please. Volunteers. Okay.
Weird, stupid, scary, exciting, and hard.
Do you have stupid, weird, stupid, scary, exciting, hard, right? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so those 5 words are going to help us create funny content. All right. So now all of you guys have been indoors for some time. And now I'd like us to talk about, and we can do it in group. You guys can volunteer if you want and read it back, or you guys can talk amongst yourselves. I prefer that you guys share. Of those 5 things, what's weird, stupid, scary, exciting, and hard? Let's go through and talk about COVID-19, coronavirus. What's stupid about the coronavirus?
Am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
How much toilet paper people are buying?
Boom. All right. How much toilet paper people are buying, but they didn't think to buy any garbage bags. When I went to the grocery store, the garbage bag section was filled. Everything else was gone. Where else? You can't throw banana peels down the toilet. Where are you going to put that? I think everyone thinks they're going to shove everything down the toilet. That's going to be an intense toilet. If you're shoving all your boxes of Cheez-Its, if you take that, I mean, yeah, if you're good and you recycle, awesome. Look, how many people are recycling? They're probably throwing that box of Cheez-Its down the toilet. So, yes. But can you see how we just one little, what's stupid about COVID-19 or coronavirus is how much toilet paper people are buying. All right, what else? And plus, frankly, how many shits do people think they're going to be having that they need that much toilet paper? Okay, go ahead. Who else? Who else wants to volunteer? What's stupid about coronavirus?
Are you guys playing?
I already went. It's her turn.
I would say stupid how people are not taking it serious.
That's true too. Yeah. People out there like licking fishes and hugging babies they could care less about, you know. Yeah. Yes. All right. Let's go on to another one. How about this? What's scary about COVID-19? A lot of comedy comes from massive fear. So comedians tend to have a very tumultuous personal life because they've taken their personal life and turned it into comedy to make other people laugh. So what's scary about COVID-19 and coronavirus?
How simple it is for people to pay attention to the media and not their own common sense.
Right. Yes, that is scary. That is actually quite scary. It feels like we're watching a movie. Yep. What else is scary? What else is scary about coronavirus?
I would say the unknown.
The unknown. Not knowing if you can even make plans for May. Are we going to even have fireworks? I mean, what's the next?
The unknown of the content of the disease. Is it as bad as they say, or worse, or better, or?
Right. The unknown. Exactly. What else is
Jobs
the jobs?
and money.
Yep, being out of work.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to like the scary component, then what we would do is we'd end up, because it gets heavy when you're like, you know, what's scary is I don't know, like, if my mom's good. We don't know the details of the disease. What's scary is that it's hitting all the old people. Now, and sometimes not even hitting the old people you don't like. You might hit old people you actually like. So how to write it all out and get out. Basically, writing comedy material is actually quite cathartic and healing if you allow yourself to do brainstorming. All right. And then you end up doing a comparison, like I said, like it attacks old people, but not none of the old people I'm related to, and those motherfuckers are they could use a little bit of COVID, just not a lot, I don't want to wrap it up, but just a scare, just a sneeze. I want my grandmother just to sneeze so she can appreciate the fact that we brought her here. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. What else? What's exciting about COVID-19?
Watching the way people are taking care of each other.
Yeah.
How far people are going out of their way to do just a little bit extra for somebody else. There's been a
Not
lot.
having to put on pants.
There we go. Not having to put on pants.
Keep
You
the
have
camera
pants on
on,
now?
please.
You get to stay at home and drink.
Say that again, Gina.
You get to stay at home and drink.
You get to stay at home
And drink.
and drink. Yes.
Cheers.
Yes.
That's every day.
Yes. I love that. Having meetings and you're a little drunk because no one can smell the alcohol through the computer. See?
And they don't know you're not wearing pants.
That's aren't most newspapers don't wear pants, I think.
I would have to say the exciting part to me is I'm seeing some very old school connections with family and relationships.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I also saw there's a lot of people on Tinder that now are actually having full-on conversations and getting to know one another.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell me about your favorite sandwich. Well, I like a good Reuben. Maybe some pastrami. Tell me more about pastrami, dude. We only made out once. Why do you want to know about my meat selection? That doesn't. Yeah, it is. All right. Also, what to me personally, what's really exciting is to see family members actually like getting to know each other. You know, if you have a grandma that's at the house, you're like, hey, Gram, you know, like we talk about everything else. Why don't you tell me about that slutty phase you probably went through because you were young. So hey, let's talk about it. I don't gotta go nowhere. Let's go. I've been predicting that there's gonna probably in 9 months there's gonna be either a lot of babies or a lot of divorces. Doctors and lawyers are gonna be making some cash in 9 months, right? Okay. What'd she say?
China, their divorce rates are already up.
Are they really?
Yeah, it was coming. It'll be here.
Air pollution down, divorce rate up.
Divorce rate up. Like, yeah. You know, like I could tolerate you when I got to travel every other day to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like you're over here. I know.
Mona, I'm going to mute everybody because I can't hear you, and you're going to have to
Okay.
mute yourself.
Okay.
Once again, guys, unmute yourself when you want to talk. It's just too many were unmuted. Go ahead.
So yeah, so then what's weird, what's stupid, what's exciting, what's hard about having to deal with all of that's going on right now?
Standing 6 feet from my Auntie Kathy the other day and not being able to hug her really sucks.
No, that was so sad. And I wanted to pet Venti, I wanted to hug you, and that was really hard. That was. I would say on top of that, just like the overall like lack of like socialization that like I was a college student. I was so used to like every night I'm like with my friends. And like this is my every night.
Do you call them your roommates now?
To do.
How'd you get Mona in your living room every night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, like, yeah, I could just be like, hey, when you come back, can you bring me a glass of water from the kitchen? Thanks.
One thing that's hard is seeing all the empty businesses, schools, and other entities driving by and they're vacant, like Woodfield.
Yeah. It's creepy. It's creepy, but cool. Are you gonna say something else? No?
Having a child at home and nothing to do.
Do you mess with them?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
My brother's the meanest parent ever when it comes to mental.
Oh, I love it. No, it sounds like a funny
Like I asked him the other day, can I push you down the stairs?
Did it happen?
No. He said I couldn't, so I said okay. All right.
What about if you were sitting in a laundry basket and you just slid down?
You know, we could do that. I am pregnant, so accidents happen.
See, there you go. All right. So our first comedy exercise is going to be to write a couple one-liners about what's either stupid, scary, silly, exciting, funny, hard, all those 5 analogies that I gave you about something that's going on in your life. And I'd like you guys to share it with us. So we talked about COVID-19. If you guys want to talk more about that, fine. But I'd like to get more just kind of mundane, like what's now that you're staring at your dog probably a lot more than you used to. I mean, the dogs are getting a lot more walks than they've probably ever had in the history of dog ownership in the United States. So pick one, what's, again, weird, hard, scary, exciting, aw, stupid. Oh, that's cute. I can see it.
That's my nephew, Bubba.
Aw. All right, so write just a couple, 1 or 2, and I want us to share with each other some of those that wasn't 19, something else. Just pick a random subject. Cool? 2 minutes. Homework, go. Any questions? If you have questions, just ask questions. I'm gonna do one.
What are we writing? I was talking when the teacher was talking.
Just write a couple jokes based on something that's obvious in your life using what's weird, stupid, scary, hard, or exciting. It could be about the mashed potatoes you had yesterday for dinner. It could be an orange. You could be writing about what's stupid about how my husband chews. I can hear him in my dreams the way he chews now. I see him so much. And it can be frustrating, but the way you're gonna create it, it's gonna instantly be funny by looking at it. You know what's, here we go. You know what's stupid about doing this workshop in front of everybody on a camera is I have to look at myself. Somehow she ends up, I'm like, Mona with the curls and what are you wearing? Like, are you a backup dancer in the 90s? What is, I thought it looked good when I wore it, but now looking at it, I'm like, God, they're probably not gonna take me seriously. I'm like a moron I got my 80s hair and my 90s, man. So I guess I'm maybe right on time. And that was just because I was heckling myself. You could write George's wife. I'm sorry if I didn't get your first name. You could talk about what's exciting about being pregnant, or what's hard about being pregnant, or what's stupid about being pregnant. And I think you're a doula, aren't you? Don't you help other people have babies? What did you come to work one day and you're like, you know what? Nah, no, I want mine first. I'll be back. And you made a big.
Pretty much. I keep getting offered births and I'm like, no, I'm pregnant. I'm going to focus on me.
There you go. See? That's like me, like, you know what? I'm not going to do any shows. I'm gonna go talk to myself. Hey guys, you know what? I'm just so much fun. I'm just gonna talk to myself. Mona, you're so crazy, Mona. All right, did you guys get some funny stuff down? Weird, stupid, exciting. What's exciting about your neighbor? She's always making cookies. I don't know. I think she wants to open up a bakery, but she's too scared, so she makes cookies and delivers them. I don't know. I don't know if that's not even true. I just made it up. All right. We'll give you one more minute, or did George? Did you guys create anything, or are you just looking for the next opportunity to drink?
Well, 1 second.
Both.
Okay.
No, I did have one, but it's about COVID.
Okay.
So was mine.
Yeah.
So it was my niece and nephews. They're twins. It's their birthday today, and obviously we couldn't have a party because of social distancing and whatnot. So my sister-in-law decided to have a parade for the kids. They're turned 6.
6.
They turned 6. And it was such an emotional thing when we're all driving with our cars decorated, dropping off gifts. The kids are so happy. And she's crying. And I think it was out of happiness because she got her kids a shit ton of gifts and didn't have to throw a party, feed anyone, clean up, talk to anyone. It was over in 5 minutes. And I think that we should pretend to have COVID when my son's birthday comes around. So we just get rid of everyone and get gifts and not have to pay for food.
All right, that's awesome. I think you're right. She was probably crying in the tears of joy of the new business, like they did when they're like Uber, or like PayPal. Probably. She came up with a really good joke idea. Just so long as they didn't call it something lame, like isn't there trick or trunk for kids bring their parents have trick or treating in the trunks of their car at a gas station? I don't know. I don't have any kids just yet that I know of, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, what else? What are some other things you guys came up with? That was good. What else?
A little bit from Stephen Wright, if you know who that is, his way of making a joke. What is the best way to get from O'Hare to downtown?
What?
COVID-19.
Oh, because of the express instead of
The
expressway?
expressways are wide open.
Yeah, they are. They are. You know, and right now, I mean, I was a limo driver and I used to have to crawl any time of day. Now I get off and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm already here. Like I could have worked another hour. Wow, I'm here. I don't swear as much on the road, Kathy, like I used to. Now I'm like, I think I'm the first one on the Kennedy. I don't see anyone ahead of me. I'm not sure anyone's behind me. So yeah. All right, that was good. Also, you did a good call and response, Brian. That's a good call and response. John, did you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I'm single, going through all this, and so when you match with someone, it's like, where the hell do you take them? Joel Osco or? Like,
That's great. That is so great. Hey. So I want to take this to another level. You want to meet me in the lettuce department?
yeah, move up from produce. Go catch a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah.
If you're handing out any cheese samples on a Saturday.
Oh my
Go all the way
God.
to the Whole Foods.
John, do you write comedy at all? Is this the first time you've ever done comedy, or are you?
I've never done stand-up. I've done improv though.
Okay. All right. Well, the more you perform stand-up, your improv skills end up coming in to host, because as you write, first off, that was a great bit. So I would say for your first joke, keep working on that. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. And the fact you said Jewel, did you say Jules? Because if you said Jules, but you did ask Osco. Osco shows how Chicago you are, because I don't think there's been an Osco around in a while. It's like you
When
said.
I'm sad, I call John and pretend I have a work question so he can make me laugh.
Oh yeah, you guys were, dude. You're funny. You're funny.
Oh, thank
Keep
you.
it going. I like that. All right. Anybody else? What else? Did you guys find it? Think of anything else funny based on weird, stupid, exciting, hard, blah blah blah? Because the homework you guys are gonna have at the end of this is to watch more stand-up, which is awesome homework. Watch more stand-up. Watch more also like versions that have monologues, like Primetime, Tonight Show, late night shows. and listen to the delivery of the joke, what they do is without saying, you know what's weird about our president? You know what's scary about our president? They don't say, you know what's weird. They don't say that. It's hidden, embedded, and they make it in a statement. Like, you know what's scary about dating during COVID-19 is where to take them on a date. They don't set that setup, but instead they remove it and they go right into it. Does that make sense? So I want you guys to start listening to more stand-up from those perspectives is how are they coming up with the material? That's the number one question I get from everybody. Where do you get material from? Who writes it for you? I'm like, it's just me in the world. Comedians are just people who see things from a funny perspective, not that they have this amazing, brilliant mind. But I'm sure, John, you probably have lots of funny conversations going on back and forth. And as Chicagoans, we see stupid shit all the time. Like, we're always seeing it. We're always seeing it. It's just part of our DNA. So being able to jot it down. So those of you who don't journal, start journaling. This is the perfect time to start journaling, and start journaling from a comedian's perspective. You guys are all officially comedians now because you've been working with me. All right, anybody else got any other? How about Gina? That's a cool name. J-I-N-A.
Gina.
Hi.
Gina.
Gina.
No, it's Gina. It's Gina. I'm just shitting you.
You're just shitting me? Fair enough. Fair enough. China 1, Mona 0. Go ahead, China. Did you do any? Did you see any funny perspectives?
No.
No. All right. All right. Anybody else? Barbara.
So I.
There you go.
Okay, so I have an interesting. So my 21 almost and 23-year-old are super duper butthurt that they're home, and they're angry and are making us essentially suffer for that. And I think they don't understand that this was essentially adult Disneyland until they moved back home prematurely.
Yes.
But they're just like, me, and we're like, oh my God. Like, no more like naked Sundays, like, no, like, they just.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. All right, Kathy, can I, if I were you, can I tell you how I would respond as a comedian, all right? So, what's your name? What's your first name? Me?
Yeah.
Allie. Allie? Okay. Yeah. So Allie's all, and the fact that Kathy said butthurt, first off, that's some youth vernacular right there. You weren't saying that in 85. I know you weren't saying that in 85 because that would have been dangerous for you to say, right? Because it would have implied a lot of other things. So I like your cool ass vernacular. Your mom's pretty dope, Allie. But if Allie comes in and is like, oh man, I'm gonna take with my friends. I'm like home now. Kathy, you say, hold on, well, time out. Look, let me see if I get this straight. All right? You're coming to my house, first off. I own this house. I bought the Cheez-Its in the cabinets. You're worried about eating my food? And you're sad? No, actually, you're gonna rent the front porch and I'll be delivering your food, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you say, let me get this straight, and you just repeat something back at them. What do we got here? Ha ha ha. What happened? Can we appreciate, she just, okay. Oh, yeah. She said sexual Disneyland. She did, right? Did she say that?
I don't know that she said sexual, but let's say she did because it's
She did. Kathy was like, this was Disneyland for you and your dumbass brother. I love it.
By the way, I don't want to know what that actually means.
The brother part, or?
It was the place that all my friends would be like, oh, like our house, there's no kids, it's free. It's a free land.
Right. So, see, and it's during Lent. It's like, God was like, listen.
Here's what you're giving up.
Yeah. Thanks for trying to give up chocolate on Saturdays and liquor on Tuesdays for Lent. I'm going to make you give up life outside of each other. Go ahead, get to know one another. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. I feel like this is quite funny. And it's over Passover and then Ramadan starting. So for all the monotheistic religions, It's a good old checkmate to stay home and, like, I don't know, start praying or something. Okay, what else we got? I love the look on her daughter's face.
And Naked Sundays. Love the look on your
Hey, hold on. Can I ask, do you live with Joey? Are the two of you basically Joey and Chandler? Is that why you have Naked Sundays and stuff like that? You guys okay? Is there a chick and a duck in that house?
No.
I wish.
I wish. Okay. All right. Anybody else create any other material that they want to share? Otherwise, we're going to go to the next exercise. This is going to be a little fun and make you uncomfortable at the same time. Cool? Move around. Exercise. Okay, good. All right. Now that you guys have a sense of how to create a joke, which is looking at something from a funny perspective, the next thing what I want to do is do an intro exercise. This is my favorite exercise. So for those of you that are paired up, Gina, she looked up, so that means it is her name, Gina, not Gina. All right, you're by yourself. Okay.
I will be calling her Gina forever now.
She must have been bullied that in some form or fashion.
My nickname's the Vag.
Is it? Dude, I feel like I want to hang out with all of you guys. All of you guys are sassy. You must all be Southsiders. All of you guys.
We can have a real party when this is over.
Yeah, we should, because you probably already fought. You guys were already drunk. What happened with Mana's family? What's going on over there? Did Mom take an edible? Is that what's going on?
I said, George, isn't that your name too?
I can't hear you.
Why can't you? Okay, how about now?
Can you hear me now?
Kinda,
It's
yeah.
so not good when you got to say the joke 4 times.
Yeah.
I said, George, isn't that your nickname too?
Oh! See? All right. So, all right. The next exercise I like to do it. This thing is called an intro exercise. How this will work now with people that are paired up, and it is a little bit easier than those that aren't. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it with Christina. Okay. You're going to be my partner, Christina, because I want people to partner up, but I'm not sure how that can happen if they're not in the same room. You get me? So what we'll do is we'll use the people that are paired up. So we've got, obviously, your brother George is paired up. Your family is. Anyone else that's individually, do they happen to have other people with them? Or are they all singles?
It's hard to share. They're not all actually single, but they might be the only one watching. I would say if anyone's alone, they could text me unless it's too much for me to handle all of it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Because it'll be a quick exercise, and then we're going to wrap up and kind of chat and get to, All right. So the way the intro exercise works and why it's so special is when I do this, whether I do it in corporate America or I do it with kids when we do comedy workshops, the way it goes is I ask Christina, tell me 2 truths and a lie. And then what?
Really do it.
So when you guys partner up, I want you guys to partner up, and I want you to introduce your partner. And if you want, for those of you that are funny and solo, you can introduce yourself as if you're your own hype man. And it's going to look a little bit like this. So Christina's going to tell me 2 truths and a lie. I'm going to introduce her as if she's the headliner of the show, and I'm going to hype you up. All right. And sometimes I'll make some stuff up. So Christina, tell me 2 truths and a lie.
I swam with a wolf.
A wolfen?
A wolf.
A wolfen, okay.
I played the trumpet for Cardinal Bernardine.
Okay.
And I'm from Nebraska.
Okay. All right. And is it Irvine, your last name? Is that how you pronounce it? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready for an amazing show? No. No. I'm going to start this from the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys all ready for an amazing show? Start clapping. Come on, you. Just start clapping.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, this comedian performs all over the world. Oh, and tours with Dave Chappelle by herself. She opens up for him. She performed the trumpet for Cardinal Bernardine. She swam with a dolphin, and she's from Nebraska. Her favorite color is green. Start clapping right now. Come on, start clapping. You're gonna bring up your headline. Let's go. Let's start clapping. Give it up for Christina Irvine. See the shenanigans that happen? Okay. Now, then you introduce me that in that same energy. Just hype me up, and you can even make shit up if you want to. All right? I want everyone to pair up, or if you're by yourself, John, since you're really funny, I'd say introduce yourself. Like you're the host and you are also the headliner. Can you do that? Okay, cool. How about Gina? You want to do that too? Badge, you want to introduce yourself?
You know what? I have a partner that's not on here, but so we're texting. I'm gonna introduce her and she's gonna introduce me.
Okay, awesome. Okay, cool.
Love Badge.
All right, so Christina, do you want to go first or do you want to go last?
I'll go last.
Okay, cool. All right, I want to give everyone just a little bit of time to talk with their partner so that each of you guys have the information that you're going to introduce your friend for. And come on, you're drinking alcohol, George. You can be funny. Don't overthink it. Look at her and I say, hey, lady, what do you want me to say about you? All right. 2 truths and a lie, or you can make stuff up anyway, but it's going to be fun. Hype it up like you're the host of the comedy show and the person that you're bringing on is this amazing headliner. John, you're ready, aren't you? All right, don't overthink it. You want me to read you guys a joke while you're doing your thing? Okay, John, I'm gonna do a joke. Proof we don't understand death is we give dead people pillows. A pillow, Seinfeld. Oh, here's another one. Accept who you are unless it's a serial killer. Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, you guys ready? No, you're not ready. George, dude, aren't you guys married at least?
Newly.
Oh, okay.
Marriage.
Okay, cool. All right, well. How's everybody else doing? Wow. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Phil. Hi, Laura. Hi, Kelly. I didn't notice all those names on there. Hello. Hope you're having fun. Okay, you guys ready yet? This is going to be fun. Also, depending on who goes, and we'll go around, I want you guys to volunteer. By the time we get to you, then you might already have it. Christina, are you doing your taxes right now? Because you look like you're very intense.
I'm writing your introduction.
Oh, but you didn't ask me 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, well, tell me 2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
I was taking it off your bio.
Yeah, I figured. It's a pretty fancy bio.
That's why I made sure everybody saw it. I was like, this is fancy.
This is fancy. Hey, man. I think I'm the first Chicago female comic to ever do Carnegie Hall. And Kennedy Center twice, so. All right, anyway. So, let's.
What's a lie?
Huh? What's a lie?
You gave me 2 truths, no lies.
Oh, I was just talking. My 2 truths are, one is I collect perfume. I have over 400 bottles of perfume. That's one information. 2 is I'm left-handed. And 3, my favorite sandwich is a Reuben. It is grilled onions on there. Oh. You know what makes a good Reuben?
Sauerkraut.
Yeah, of course. Culver makes a great Reuben. Sadly enough. Yeah. Oh. You go that one? That's on, what is it, 103rd? I think there's one on 103rd. No, 90. It's like 95th and Kedzie. All right. You guys ready? All right. Okay. Let's go with, well, the George family's not there.
Oh,
ooh. Gina just brought in other people. Yay. She's like, you know what? I'm going to make this a public affair. I want to put these shenanigans online. All right, let's go. I want to get this going, wrap it up, and then have some discussion about how this made you.
Let me go. I'll go first.
Okay, who's me? Oh, Gina.
Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. Okay, perfect.
Do you see me?
I don't
Hi,
see you.
Christina.
Hi.
How are you?
We're not seeing you for some reason, but
You're not? Well, I did turn on my whatever. So
Okay.
I'll go first to break the ice because I'll be really bad. This will be great.
Love it.
And I'm by myself, so I'm introducing myself. All right, everybody. This next comedian comes straight from. She grew up on the east side of Chicago. She's really amazing at swearing in Spanish. Makes the best smoothies this side of Ogden Avenue. Let's give it up. Give it up for Dawn Roach. Yay!
You got it. Dawn, that was awesome. Thank you so much for going first. You're from the east side, so you probably got a couple knife stab wounds. She's got an old English tattoo on her neck.
No, I was making a joke. The east side of Chicago is the lake, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there's also the east side. Oh, that's
no. Well, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. No, I'm a suburban girl, so you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Dawn, thank you so much. And you said to make the best smoothie this side of Ogden, you guys. You said
Ogden, right? Ogden.
Thank you. That was great. All right. Who else wants to go next? Thank you so much for going first. That was great.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. This next comedian, if he's not drinking himself into hypothermia and going for a bike ride, he's not having fun. That's how he became a top-notch lawyer. Give it up for Brian Truxell.
That was good. Brian, that was actually really good. That was really good. All right, who else? That was great. Brian. Who else? Come on, a few more. We only got 10 more minutes. You can do it. You guys, come on.
I want to hear Gina's because Gina's is good. I guarantee it. Where's Gina at?
Well, Kelly has mine, technically. Kelly has mine. So Kelly Bennett, fire away.
Yeah, but I want to hear you introduce Kelly too.
Oh, well, she's kind of boring.
Make it up. You know her, right?
I'm kidding.
Totally make her up.
Okay, introducing Kelly Bennett from the bad side of Plainfield. She has a super nice dog. She's probably going to be a horrible comedian. She was a competitive dancer, and she drives a Jeep.
All right, give it up
for Kelly Bennett.
All right, give it up for Kelly.
That's funny.
Awesome. That's so great. Okay, who else? Anybody else? You guys are doing really good for comedians.
Did we hear John yet? I want John.
No, yeah, I haven't heard John. Come on, John McLean. Oh, and by the way, Dawn, your nails look great. Yeah, fantastic. All right. John, you ready?
Ready. Yep, for our next comedian, he once did improv on Second City Stage, a former radio morning show host, and has personally restored a 1982 DeLorean. Give it up for John.
Yeah, John! You actually do have a radio TV voice, doesn't he? Did you actually do radio work?
I did. I went to a 4-year school to do 3 years worth of radio.
Wow, you have a mix of you got a little bit of Tom Skillen meets Larry Padish.
John, we can hear you. Whatever you just
I can't think of the guy on, I think, WGN or Channel 7, Brady, or I forget who the name of the guy, but that's my doppelganger, allegedly.
Oh, yeah, you're good. What do you do now?
I'm a realtor, and then I also have a bar trivia company.
Really? Mm-hmm. Very cool. All right. Yeah, I was in real estate, right? We could have gone into a whole slew of jokes about. I was in residential, and then I did commercial real estate. But you guys are amazing at what you do. You're amazing. So thank you. All right. Anybody else have some intros?
These days, a showing is more like a drive-by.
See, dude, he's killing it. Dude, you need your own online TV show.
My own what?
You need your own online comedy show because you're funny.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're really funny. Oh, I love it. Showing real estate is like a drive-by. Oh. Go ahead. Who else?
You pray that it's gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. All right, anybody else? Or do a few more and then we're done. Come on. Okay. All right. Christina, then you want to introduce me?
I'm really bad at this. I'll do it anyway.
Okay.
She performed at Carnegie Hall and the Kennedy Center twice. She is a Muslim American, and she has 400 bottles of perfume. Her favorite color is orange, and her favorite joke when she opens up is that she's pregnant. Affirmation.
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, I don't know if you remember the first time I met you, like 8 years ago. That is the first thing I said to you was, thank God you didn't open up with a pregnancy joke, because that's what all the girls do.
Yeah. They all talk about their vaginas. They talk about their vag, right? Their vag. Yeah. Okay. That was really, really great. So the reason why I do this exercise, why it's so important to me, is within the day-to-day life, people don't often acknowledge one another. It's really an acknowledgement exercise, and feeling that you have the ability to acknowledge someone else, and someone else has the ability to acknowledge you. So when I teach stand-up comedy, I'm not just teaching comedy, I'm also trying to teach life skills, how to be fearless on stage, how to really connect with strangers. So I use comedy as just this microcosm of leadership training. So you guys have actually done some of the workshops that I sell and I do for leadership training, but also when I teach people how to do stand-up. So I teach stand-up at comedy clubs and comedy classes as well. So I'd like to get some feedback on how people thought, how they felt, how they thought the exercise went, having just observed it, and how did they feel if they actually did an intro? Did you get nervous in the service? Did your heart start to race when you did an intro? How did it go? So if you guys could just share a little bit. Or should I call on people? All right, I'll call on people. Dawn, could you tell me, how did you feel?
There we go. I had to unmute myself. It was fun. I was nervous a little bit, but that's why I went first, get it out of the way. Sometimes I think if you think too long about something, then it gets worse, but it was fun.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and you were acknowledging yourself, which was kind of like a really cool billboard. A lot of people don't often walk into like, hey, these are all my awesome qualities about myself. Do they? They'd be seen as weird. But the fact that you introduced yourself, I was wondering how that made you feel.
Oh, well, some of that stuff, it was more like two lies and a truth. So I had fun coming up with some weird stuff. I do swear in Spanish. That's the true part.
Yeah, I figured that one. That's too specific. That's too specific.
I don't know. It was fine. It was fun. I'd love to explore more this part of the whole world, learning how to tell jokes and stand up. And I think it'd be great to learn more. So thank you for the opportunity.
Great. Okay, so one of the books that I'll share with you guys, that's my new favorite book, is a new version of it. It's called The Comedy Bible by Judy Carter.
Oh.
And if you want, I can send it around to you guys, the link, if you just message me. But the Comedy Bible gives you awesome like exercises. And again, the thing I like to emphasize is comedy isn't just about making people laugh. It really is about being fully self-expressed. Really, because a lot of comedians all they're doing is having therapy with the audience, and the audience indirectly, not only are they paying for it, but they're co-signing it. So there's a lot of healing that shows up in comedy. So these workshops that I teach, but also the book by Judy Carter, The Comedy Bible, it really just teaches you how to create jokes, and then you start. It's like brainstorming, journaling exercise for yourself. You actually get to know yourself a little bit more. It's really beautiful. Okay, anybody else? George, how did you think by watching it? George?
I think they just messaged that their mic isn't working for some reason.
Okay. All right, what about Anthony? Anthony's here. I haven't seen or heard from him.
I was cooking dinner.
Oh, how was it?
So it's good. It's like made. It's not eaten yet. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we're almost done. You can go.
Oh no, I'm good. So I was
Did you
listening.
cook later? Did you get a set? Did you get to see any of the intros other people were doing?
I saw everything. I was listening the whole time. So I've been here.
Okay. Oh, clearly he's drinking too. Like, I love it. I love everybody's drinking.
It gets like my third beer before I could get out there and say anything. So.
Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what's interesting is there's a lot of comedians who have careers because of alcohol and a bet. They were usually buzzed and I could do that. I bet you I could do that better than you. And her name is Monique. So like Monique, a lot of comedians have had Trevor Noah. There were guys fighting the comedian. The comedian's like, you think you could do better? And he's like, yeah, actually I could. And
That's how Rogan's, I think.
See?
Says, like, he went to a comedy club and they were like, you could do better. And then he always went to amateur nights and he's like, yeah, I could do better. He's like, that's the key to like thinking you can do stand-up comedy is not go to professional nights, go to amateur nights.
Right. Go to your mics.
Watch somebody bomb and then you'll feel a little bit better.
Yeah, especially if you got a couple shots of like tequila in you, you're good.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times, but I was like pretty in the bag, so.
Really, you've done comedy?
Yeah, I do like
All right.
200 impersonations, so that would have been my intro. So.
You do 200 what?
Impersonations, like voice impersonations.
Okay, why are we talking about my dumbass life? Why don't you start giving me some information?
Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give us. Come on.
Now listen. No, I can't say that's a great idea. No, I can't say I put my name on it, but I'll put my fingers behind it.
Very good.
Now,
200.
now I heard recently they gave us a new name. They call us Billery. I like that. As usual, I come first.
Christina, did you know that he did that?
No.
No. I knew it.
That's pretty awesome. Give us another one. Let's go.
Give me a couple minutes, another beer, and maybe I'll get back into it.
Get him a straw. Somebody get him some liquor. Is there anybody right here? Somebody get him some liquor.
You say get me a straw? I don't think
Beer
that.
bong. You need a beer bong. Let's go. Come on.
Bong, yeah. Yeah, I was the one who I think I misheard it before. I was the one who said the sexual Disneyland, but I was like, there's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I got a little uncomfortable, like probably like, you know, the daughter sitting between her parents saying that. I was like, oh man, if I was there, that would have been she's like, man, I wish I could go back to college. She's praying for the end of the virus real quick right now.
Yeah, so she can hear all the weird in the dorm.
When you get back to your stuff, I'll get one more beer. I'll give you a few more, I promise.
Okay. All right. All right. How about anybody else? Did the intro exercise feel weird? Did it feel stupid? How about you, Christina? How did it feel?
I felt so dumb. I felt so dumb. There's certain things I could speak about, and people are like, wow, you're such a good speaker. And I'm like, I'm really not. That just was passion. But when I have to stage it and read my chicken scratch that looks like I was trying to file taxes, it's pretty bad.
Well, that's the cool thing is that the reason why I also like this exercise, it's about being really present. So when I asked you, tell me 2 truths and a lie, I had to stay really focused so that I got beat, right? So I was present, not thinking about my own shit, but listening to you. And then I got myself centered. Okay, boom. And then when I introduced you, I hyped you up.
Well,
I added.
Point, though. We get so nervous sometimes when we're thinking about doing something like that we don't know how to be present without having heard it from you right now and then applying it moving forward, right? Like being present in a moment like that, you're like, oh crap, I know I'm gonna look like a bumbling idiot. You know,
right.
And so be present. But you learn it, right?
Yeah. That's turning off your critical ego mind, that's gonna be the key to be able to hear it. So like, for example, one of the things I used to be the scaredest of, and frankly, I still do, is when I have to read in public. I don't like, when I read in public, I'm like, I'm an idiot. Moron, you're an idiot. You sound like an idiot, moron. Like, that's what I hear all the time. But once I tune that out and I can be so present into what I'm actually reading, I can pay more attention. I can devote more of my mind candy into reading what I'm saying. So being present when you get the information, like that old adage of, I like to say my name first so that I can hear your name last so that I can remember it. That's a technique that comedians use is, all right, man, tell me, how do you want me to intro you? And sometimes I've got to do it backstage right before somebody significant who's been on Comedy Central and stuff. And I have to say what they want, or some dumbass podcast name. Hey, 2 balls and an earplug. Like, that's the name of their podcast. Like, why is it such a stupid name? And I got to remember all the seasons they were on of Girl Code to introduce them. But I get it. It's like a picture. I snap a picture, and then I deliver it live by coming from nothing, by not bringing in, oh my God, did I remember it right? I don't allow any of that chatter in my head if I remembered it. I just stay focused as if the information you gave me was math, right? The fact that you swam with a wallfin, or is that a walrus and a dolphin?
It's a whale and a dolphin. That was the truth.
That's actually an animal?
Yeah, it was in Maui.
Oh, okay.
The one I swam with was only 25% whale.
Okay, 25% whale. Is it in the lower half or the upper half? Because I bet every guy's like, this is on the lower half? Lower half, right? Come on, man, it's the lower half.
That's so funny.
Okay, do you guys have any questions, any feedback? I want to kind of wrap this up with a little bit of love. I want you guys to be able, it's 9 o'clock. You guys have to sign in online early in the morning or whatever shows up. Do you have any questions? There's so much more to comedy that I want to share. But those are the big ones, the intro exercise, really how to devise a joke, and a book recommendation, Judy Carter, and more from me. Again, there's a lot more things I like to do in person, so I appreciate your time. Questions? I'm going to get call badge on my business cards. Yeah. Hey, call badge. You're in a rush.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to kind of? So I'm used to steady hands. So I'm a dentist, like by trade. So I'm used to having pretty steady hand all the time. But like right now, I can even tell just being on camera, talking to, I don't even know, maybe 20 strangers or something like that, or maybe more. Who knows? But I'm already a little, jittery and everything. And so that's, I think, the 2 times that I did stand up, I was probably about 10 shots into my day. And again, I'd rather not, just because to me it's harder. I mean, how did you go about, without having a sheet of paper in front of you to remember everything, to run through that material? How long did it take you did you have that fear in the beginning like that, or was that not really a problem for you?
Absolutely. Actually, to the point where a lot of us comedians have low-key drinking problems. I would take a shot before, I mean, think about it. Comedians actually don't even live long. Our vices are our demise. We spend so much time trying to be there for others that we're not taking care of ourselves. Also, in the comedy scene, as you're growing into the scene, you end up getting paid in drink tickets. You don't get paid in food. So you're sending an anxious, often poor human being filled with liquor with no food out into the world. It's like a loaded gun, real talk. So my relationship to my fear, and why I teach these workshops and why I teach techniques to conquer the fear, is because it saved my life. I had to figure out, how do I figure out my chemistry? So when we're scared, our heart is racing. We get a lot of blood going in, you get lightheaded. Sometimes you have to take the poopies. You're all over the place, okay? The first thing I do is I come up with my material that I know I want to deliver. So like, I still get nervous, and I've been doing it a decade, okay? So when I come up with my material, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do these 3 jokes. I'm gonna do the Metro Cop joke, I'm gonna do my weight loss joke, and I'm gonna do this joke, all right? I get it set in my mind visually in bullet points, I don't write it all out. If you try to read all your jokes or all your material, all your content, you can't. But if you remember an instant, so when I did get pulled over by a cop and it said Metro on his squad car, that was a timestamp memory. I'm like, I'm never going to forget this. So every time I deliver it as if it happened for the first time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that I don't get caught up in the words when I tell the story. I get caught up in the objective of the story.
Sure.
Then I lay flat. I lay flat on the ground and I surrender gravity, and my body gets used to the new chemistry because my heart's racing. Because if you think of the difference between a little kid and their birthday coming up and they're so excited they throw up on their birthday cake, what's happening in that kid's body and what's happening in an adult's body when they have to speak, it's the same chemistry issue. The adult calls it anxiety or fear of talking in public. The kid do the kids say, no, I have anxiety. I have anxiety. My birthday's coming. No, they're excited. So you're both excited. It's all about what the ego is trying to teach you. So if you surrender gravity, get used to the chemistry of your body, take a bunch of deep breaths, and then say, okay, I know my material. I'm not going to go over it, and allow yourself just to say what is. Say what?
Down on the ground.
I lay flat on the ground, yeah. But backstage, all the comedians that ever worked with me, they're like, oh, there's Mona. She's laying flat on the ground. Because we end up getting too much in our head. Like your heart is racing, your blood is pumping, your face is red. You start thinking too much. Then I start thinking, oh my God, do I need cat litter? And I start freaking out. And I forgot what my jokes were. So to really
go on your stage, right? Just come out and lay down right away. Like, oh, I'm just.
Oh no, I lay down.
No, just
I
get
lay down before I get on stage.
Don't mind me.
Does that help with anxiety? Anxiety really is just what adults call excitement.
Yeah. Better way of looking at it.
Just as the perspective I have. And also one of the other things is that in general, I'm speaking to likely 20 people that I've never seen. Typically, people are always coming from love. They're always coming from their own insecurities, and they're usually spending way more time judging themselves than they are me. I'm wearing my cool 90s jacket and my 80s hairstyle. But that's about it. Like, I think you guys can only judge me so much before you're like, man, why didn't I pay that one ticket back in the day? Now it's triple. I'm an idiot. Like, that's probably what you're thinking, not, man, is Mona ever going to get married? I don't think you're thinking that about me. You don't know shit about me. So, So in general, people are often 99% of the time in their own head. Unless you come out in a tutu, then they're like, hey, when's the ballet starting? So they're engaged. But typically people are spending so much time in their own head. That helps.
Well, and Anthony, can't you practice while you're in somebody's mouth? I mean, they'd be afraid to not laugh.
Actually, I've done that a lot, actually.
I bet you have. That's bad.
I do a lot of impersonations, stand up while people are just chilling and can't respond. Then they can't like tell me it's bad.
How much Novocaine do you want? Laugh at my jokes.
You don't have to want to piss off your like bad. They have to laugh, like it's like force. Like, oh, like you suck. Like it's probably not a good answer. Like the middle of a root canal,
I mean, can you imagine anything funnier than a dentist who tells jokes?
Oh yeah, all the time, yeah.
I would drive farther just to come see you if I knew you were going to tell jokes in my mouth.
I'm actually going to do that.
Yeah.
I really like this idea because.
Hold on, let me Google his office for you guys.
Okay, good.
What's super cool about what you're saying is that it could be a.
Sorry, go ahead.
It could be a not only stand up. You could apply that to so many parts of your life. Just having, I just like the way that you kind of broke that down. That was kind of cool.
Thank you. That's
you said something to me too, Mona, about sexual harassment.
Yeah, that's one of the other things is getting trained in sexual harassment because the majority of the time a woman feels that she's been sexually harassed, or a guy. For the guys that have been sexually harassed, Anthony, I'm sure that's been you. Like, I'm sure the stuff that they say. It typically shows up, and just like Gina, it'll show up in a joke form. It'll show up in like, is your name Gina or Gina? I don't know. They often come off real creepy, right? And one of the things I like to do is I like to teach people how to create really good jokes so that they're not sexually harassing one another. Because typically, if a guy is sexually harassing a female in the joke form, it's basically like what we learned when we were kids. If a boy is teasing you, he likes you. So let's teach the men how to create some cool jokes and the women how to create some cool jokes so they're not so creepy. That's what I like to do that too. Because say that she's pretty, like, hey, you look great, not like, you look so great, I like to see that shirt on the floor in my bedroom tomorrow. Like, we don't need to hear that because it's crap. It's an old hack joke.
Wait, was this
So
coming in?
hold on, I have to share this because this is really funny. My sister-in-law just texted me and said, have him tell you jokes, ... while he's, quote, in your mouth, end quote. Laughing my butt off. No one knows that he's a dentist.
So
And no offense. I
that's
thought all dentists were like 87.
that's like
This was really fun.
constantly.
I was not sexually harassing you. I really meant while you were doing dentistry work.
So that's the thing that I always like am concerned with. So I had a 18-year-old like high school senior one time, and I don't do cleanings very often, like, but we were shortchanged that day on staff, and I did a cleaning, and so I got to spend a little more time. And she told me that she wanted to be a stand-up comedian or do improv or something. So I was like, oh, like cool, like, and I just kind of started doing some impersonations, and we got like deeper and deeper into this whole thing. And then that's why I'm like actually most scared to do stand-up is I told this joke from dental school, which we had this guy that looked like Weird Al Yankovic, and he's a pediatric dentist, and he's like going through this whole thing and blah blah blah, and he's like, I just have one more slide to show you, and all of a sudden he like pulls up a picture, and it's like a bird's eye view of a penis, like, and he's on his Mac computer like giving a PowerPoint presentation in front of 300 students. And he's like, oh God, my son messed with my computer. You know, it's a Mac, so he's like on the other side trying to like click out on the right side, and it's on the left side. And so I'm telling the story because like I told it at my stand-up thing, which was in dental school, like this thing called Mr. Mueller. And so I did a PowerPoint like Tosh.0 style, and I did like Rooster Cogburn, like, oh, he had a giant picture of a cock, and you know, but Rooster Cogburn comes up and the whole thing. So I'm telling her the story, and she's like in tears laughing, like literally. I mean, like when she left, I mean, we were both just in tears. But then like I talked to my dad that night, and he was just like, oh, like the borderline of like the professional like nature of it. And like, obviously when someone loves you and like, you know, you're a cool dude and like you're having a great time, the chances of them coming after you for something is scary. But I've always worried, like, I'm going to go out there and I have a ton of good stories. Like, I've lived a fun life, but I'm just like, all right, well, I'm not so sure I want my patients to end up getting those, you know what I mean? So I feel like there's that cutoff to like, what's truth, what's not, and you know what I mean?
One of the helpful, I'd say one of the helpful keys is understanding the power dynamic. So right now, the power dynamic between all of us is majority are like colleagues. They all kind of know each other. Christina, you have probably 3 degrees of groups that you invited, and they all kind of meet each other.
Coworkers.
Right. So right now, all of us are pretty much on an equal footing. But if I have to listen to your dick joke and then pay you 2 G's for my root canal, that's going to bother me. That power dynamic, I would laugh it off because I have to. What am I going to do, right? But if you tell those kinds of jokes within your colleague circle is one thing versus the patient, the patient dentist relationship or the doctor patient, or I mean, I know you know that.
It was like the one time I told the joke. I'm just saying, like, it's more of a like, oh, if you go out and do this, you know, in a public setting, how is that going to come back at you professionally?
Yeah. So
no, Day didn't bother me. Her mom, actually, who I had never met, who had been seeing my boss for like 20 years, came in and was like, I just have to tell you, whatever you did the last time, my daughter never had the better time. Like, she might even want to be a dentist now. Like, she had the best time. Like,
She might even want to be a dentist.
It was
That's
a
big deal.
it was a great fun time. Like it wasn't, like I said, that scary. It's just more like, how do you protect yourself if you have another job?
Yeah. Oh, on stand-up comedy. So
Yeah.
all comedians have other jobs. A lot of comedians tend to be lawyers and teachers. That's just part of being in front of people.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of comedians have had a great deal of education. So I have a master's degree in international development. I speak multiple languages. My outlet of release is comedy. So a lot of people, because they perform at night, can do both and end up. But you can't be dumb and be a comedian. That's one thing. Number two is that it's an understanding that when you're on stage and you have the mic, you have the power. So the people in the room, when you say, yeah, I'm a dentist, and you start talking shit from a dental perspective as a dentist, they're gonna love it. They're gonna, because I mean, mechanics and dentists are the only ones we spend this much money on, but we have no idea what they're doing. We can't prove shit. I don't know if there's, I can't tell if my tailpipe of my car needed of a root canal or not. Either way, I never get to see the work you do. I just gotta trust you and hope that the pain doesn't show back up, right? And we gotta fit the bill. So you guys your perspective of the world is so beautiful, and it's as you being unique that people will definitely want to hear. Comedians are just journalists. We're just paying attention to stuff that came around and then telling you about it. Like, you know what I find weird? You know what's stupid is all this crap. You know what's stupid about my mom? You start talking about your mom. So that's really what comedy is, and I think you'd be great. You don't have to tell anyone you are a dentist, but frankly, I think you telling people you are would garner you a lot of laughs. And sexual harassment happens in comedy. That's why a lot of people are like, I don't want to go to a comedy show. It'll get too blue. I mean, you'd be surprised what I've seen.
Hey, Anthony, I got a question for you.
Sure.
How does it feel to be a necessary evil? I'm a mechanic by trade.
We both think about right here. Yeah, you probably get called a dentist. I get called a mechanic all the time. So.
Oh yeah. Except you keep your hands clean. I don't.
Dude, I get this all the time. Everyone calls me the baby hands. You know what I mean? I'm not a hard worker, so I get a tough time for that. So at least you get to be in the man's man category.
Oh. Yeah.
You get your man.
Can I ask you?
All right, I got my lotion.
I'm sorry. What, Mona?
How old is Anthony? How old are you?
I'm 35.
Oh, okay. Because you look like you're 25.
Yeah, I get that a lot. That's my only pickup line right there. That's what everybody talks to me about all the time. So I feel like when you can talk honestly about things, like then that's how you communicate well, and that's like everyone. First thing they say to me is like, "You look like a baby."
All right. Anybody else? Any other questions, feedback, concerns?
Excuse me, Mona. I was curious. Out of the three things I mentioned before I told you I was a mechanic, did you know which one was crap?
No. I was just happy you volunteered. Which one's crap?
Top-notch lawyer.
Oh, maybe you said, yeah. Now that you're right.
Wait, are we gonna make Anthony do since he said he was gonna?
He wants to. This feels like it's becoming the Mullen and Anthony show. And because when I see the little Lana family watching, they're like, yeah, what else is gonna happen?
The whole point was to make people laugh. So I like the participation.
I love it too. All right, is your beer enough, Anthony, for another presidential or one of your 200 impersonations? I think he might be frozen. Yeah.
Probably not.
All right. What about you guys? Anybody else? Questions, concerns, feedback about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness via comedy? Do we guys do interpretive dancing now?
No, I did want to say thank you for the blast back to the Fort City Police, because that was always something that I found very hilarious about anytime being in Fort City. And I don't know if everybody is aware of our wonderful mall over there, but that was a big thing about the Fort City Police, and they'll take you to the Fort City Jail, and you'll make big Fort City rocks or small Ford City Rocks out of big Ford City Rocks, and that was it. But yeah, so that was funny to hear.
That made you laugh?
Yep.
Hey, that works. Thank you. Ford City Mall Cop. All right, anybody else? Any more questions, concerns? We've been doing this for a lovely long time, an hour and a half. What a gift. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you so much, Mona.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. You can hit me up on my website, monacomedy.com, if you want to find any of my social media stuff. And mona@monacomedy.com, my email address. I always love funny stories. I love feedback, and I just hope you guys had a lot of fun. Even though you guys were looking at me, I hope some of the interactions here were lovely. And for those of you guys that are younger and students, I hope you stay in school and don't do drugs or something like that. Whatever. Yeah, be great. Also, if I say anything else as parting words, I beg you, please journal. You've got a lot of stuff that's going on. We're literally in live history right now, a moment in time. Take some time and just journal. It can be funny, it can be whatever, get it all out, and then try to find the funny in your life. Any situation that pisses you off or hurts you, underneath it, there's comedy. Every bit of tragedy and comedy are commingled, and to live a happy life, taking everything that frustrates you, acknowledging it. I don't want you to rush through it, but finding ways to make it funny and write it out, whether could be a meme, it could be a pilot. You remember, most of the TV shows we're watching on Netflix were someone's ideas because they took the time to write them out and talk about their lives. So please just share your stories, even if it's just with yourself. Right, John?
Darn tootin'.
Okay.
So Mona, where have you taught courses before? Where do you do courses?
I do them here in Chicago, throughout Chicago, and in South Africa.
Where in Chicago? Like what specific place?
So I've done them with some accounting firms. I've done them at for 10 years. I've been doing them at different high schools and grade schools: McAuliffe High School, Morton High School in Berlin. I've done it at Finkel Academy. I do it for an accounting firm. Actually, I do regular workshops for an accounting firm. What else? Man, a couple of Montessori school in Oak Park. I forgot the name. So I teach regularly at the Revival Comedy Club. Some kids up north. I do it a lot. So for both people that want to learn stand-up, the art of actual stand-up, and those that I teach it for innovative ways of leadership and team building. So some of the other workshops or the classes will have, like, let's say the three of you are all together, some different type of exercise that it's kind of like if you took Tony Robbins, the most cliche version, but a lot of his like self-empowerment crap, and you took that and you put it with Second City and a little bit of my Chicago attitude. That's kind of how I make these workshops. And I curtail them around the organization, especially if we're going to do longer full day seminars. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay. You cross eyes, it's like, yeah, tell me more about your life. I didn't get the hacks.
Warm up.
Okay. Are we waiting on
we're ready for these impersonations that you promised.
Oh, okay. What do you guys want? You have anything you want, or to start doing them?
Yeah. Go do it. Get to business.
All right. Do the Australian one. It's all right. It's not a problem. It's nice to be here in your town in Schaumburg. I was at your mall the other day. My girlfriend bought me Sephora. That's a terrible place. I never want to go back. Just meet a bunch of other guys standing up front, not making eye contact because that would be weird. Here's the thing you never hear a guy say. Oh, I really like that shirt. Oh, I think I'll buy it for Bob's Barbecue. I think you'll really appreciate it. I might get two.
I love it. That's actually really good.
Christopher Walken. I like to do Mr. Walken around Halloween time, particularly the night of. Trick or treat. Give me something good to eat. If you don't know, I don't care. I'll pull down your underwear. I had a question.
Very good. Can you do a Trump?
Won't do it for my own reasons, but no, I can't. I probably could. I just don't. But those
So
are,
you're
Do Mona.
Oh yeah, do Mona.
I don't think I could. Not. It'd take a couple more hours. I could probably do it, but not yet.
Are you asking me on a date, Dennis?
No. You're good at that.
I do have. I think I need a root canal right here.
That was
I'll
good.
make you do some dental work. It's
There you
old
go.
school. Kathy, what do you think? Should I go on a date with this guy? She's like, no, you don't fucking know this guy.
Hey, paisan.
If he doesn't take you out, I'll take you to Jules Askell.
Can you? Can we be?
That's the
Can we,
worst part. Is I live next to the Jewel with a bar in it, and the bar's closed. Jewel's still open, but they closed the bar.
There was a bar. What kind of jewel do you live in?
I mean, there is the produce
in the
aisle.
city.
You're in the city.
Yeah.
Bar. Oh, you're the one like on Rosemont.
On Displains. Displains and Kinsey.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Must be nice. Your jewel's got a bar. Okay.
oh, it doesn't have a bar. I just said.
Well, I mean, it's normal. You know what my jewel's got? Some guy named Rich who's never used a bar of soap. That guy. All right, want to wrap this up, guys? It's now like 11 o'clock at night. We should wrap this up. Are there any concerns, any feedbacks? Any feedback?
So nice to meet everyone. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Fun. Thank you so much, Mona.
Yeah, I hope it was something fun, something different. Just stay in touch. John, you have an amazing career. So do you, Anthony. And Allie, behave yourself. Do some laundry.
Really benefits. Thanks, Mona. She doesn't want to unmute apparently.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. All right.
Come in.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks.
Bye, guys.